Yes, we'll start with your MCQs of May 2025. So that is the first thing that you're required to do. Then we'll take your other parts. First, we'll start with your MCQs. MCQ is not there in that paper. We'll only focus, you look at the question. Sandeep, a registered person in Pune. So I'll be trying to highlight those important areas. So he's there, he is a registered person and is there sitting in Maharashtra, is engaged in the business of training services to various registered person. He is there engaged in training services to registered and unregistered person. His customers are registered as well as unregistered. During the month of October, he has conducted training camps at different cities in Uttar Pradesh for general public and he has received 3,45,000. What is the meaning? Customers are registered or unregistered? Unregistered. Right? And he was hired by Aryan Pharma Limited, a registered company in Goa, for providing training services to its employees for 2,25,000. Right, so this is to registered person. That training was to unregistered person. This training is to, and the training was to totally 20 employees at Mumbai, Maharashtra. Training, the company, recipient is in Goa, but training happened in Mumbai. Training happened in Mumbai. Sandeep also gave residential property in Mumbai to Aryan Pharma Limited because their employees has to stay. So for stay of their employees, Sandeep charged 10,000 per person for stay of period of 30 days. So 10,000 per person for how many employees? No. For how many employees? 10,000 per person. It is not for every day. 10,000 person for 30 days for how many employees? 20 employees. So this is not training service. This is renting of immovable property. This is renting of immovable property. This is not training service. This is renting of immovable property. Immovable property. Now, Sandeep hired a bus from Ravi. So till now, it was all outward supply. How many outward supplies were there? This was first outward supply to unregistered person and training services. Correct? This was second outward supply to registered person, training services. Correct? This was third outward supply to again registered person, Aryan Pharma. But now it is renting of residential dwelling. Renting of residential dwelling. Are you guys clear with this understanding? Are you guys clear with this understanding? Next, inward supply. Sandeep hired a bus from Ravi, who is registered in Maharashtra, for at 50,000 for 30 days, because 30 days training was there. The bus capacity is 20 trainees, ITC chapter, 20, more than equal to 14, more than equal to 14. And the cost of the fuel is included in this. So this happens to be inward supply or outward supply? Inward supply 1, which is renting of motor vehicle for more than or equal to 13 capacity. Correct? Now, another inward supply. Sandeep also received security services from Protective Security Limited. Protective Security Limited, which is for 35,000. So this is inward supply. This is inward supply 2. You know, this is actually a beautiful question because RCMs are also involved. Rather, when you talk about renting of residential dwelling, maybe FCM, maybe RCM. Renting of motor vehicles, maybe FCM, maybe RCM. Security services, maybe FCM, maybe RCM. So that is the depth of the question. Right? So for someone, in the morning you asked, what about MCQs? Right? So MCQs, this is how the question will be merged. And this is how you have to bifurcate. This is how you have to bifurcate. Your mind should work sharp, and you, if possible, have a sharp pencil. Don't try to highlight everything. Important areas, it should be visible only to your naked eyes, not to anyone, if possible. Otherwise, even avoid it. If you're sitting in the front and all, avoid it, because scribbling in the question paper is not allowed, it is prohibited. Only because 15 minutes time you might read something very important. Only to highlight that, not this highlighting. The highlighting here I have done is too much. Rather, I am telling entire question paper, 1 or 2 words, entire question, 1 or 2 words would be keywords. Right. Now, the GSE rates are given in the question as 9, 9 and 18. Subject to information given, assume that all the conditions are satisfied for taking the general information. Rate of taxes 9, 9, 18. And conditions for ITC, wherever it is there, it is satisfied. Right. What the amount of interstate outward supply on which Sandeep shall pay taxes? How many outward supplies are there? How many outward supplies are there? We have just discussed there are 3 outward supplies. Now training services. Sandeep is there in Pune, Maharashtra. Suppliers are in Pune, Maharashtra. So let us evaluate. For the first question, location of supplier. Location of supplier, Maharashtra. Place of supply. If training is to unregistered person, it is where the training happens. It is where the training happens in. So interstate supply or intrastate supply? Interstate supply, IGST. IGST. Second case, training to, who's the recipient? Recipient are not employees. Recipient is Aryan Pharma Limited. Employees are the beneficiaries. Who's recipient? The person who's liable to pay. Correct. So location of supplier. Location of supplier, Maharashtra, Pune. And where is the place of supply? Registered person. No. Where is Aryan Pharma Limited located? Now it is registered. When it is registered, it is not the place where training happens. Training happens in Mumbai. But recipient is registered. If he is registered, place of supply is? Location of registered person. It is not the place where training happens. Though training happens in Maharashtra. But answer will not be Maharashtra because it is to registered person. So what is the type of tax here also? IGST. So if you see the first case, location of supplier, Maharashtra. Location of supplier, Maharashtra. Place of supply, Uttar Pradesh. Training happens. Unregistered. Here location of supplier, Maharashtra. Though training happens in Maharashtra, place of supply is not Maharashtra, it is Goa. It is Goa. Why? It is to registered person. What about the third supply? Renting of residential dwelling. What about the third supply? Third supply is also given to Aryan Pharma only. So where is the location of supplier? Location of supplier is same Maharashtra. Place of supply? No. For renting of immovable property, whether the recipient is registered or unregistered, it is always location of immovable property. Now, though it is to registered person, but now when you talk about immovable property, whether you are a registered person or unregistered person, place of supply is location of immovable property. Where is the immovable property located? Mumbai, Maharashtra. So it is interstate supply or intrastate supply? So CGST. Clear? The first two cases we had IGST. This case, it is CGST and SGST. Though recipient is registered, but now it is not relevant. It was relevant for training, it is not relevant for. This all is coming from your place of supply chapter. All of this is coming from your place of supply chapter. Done? Now, the question is very specific and very clear. Interstate outward supply. Interstate outward supply is what? Only first and second case. Only first and what is the first case? 3 lakh 45. What is the second case? Add both. 5 lakh 70. Clear? Clear? Why are we not adding last this 2 lakhs? 2 lakhs, how you get 2 lakhs? 10,000 multiplied by 20 employees. Because it is intra. It is? Right. Next question. Tell me on what RCM is to be paid. There are two inward supplies. RCM is only on inward supply. RCM is only and only on inward supplies. Tell me on what RCM needs to be paid. On what RCM needs to be paid. First, let us evaluate. First is renting of motor vehicle. Is it by other than body corporate? Yes, it is by other than body corporate. It is by Ravi. It is by Ravi. It is by other than body corporate. True. True. To whom? When RCM is applicable, supplier should be other than body corporate. Recipient should be body corporate. Recipient should be recipient body corporate. Recipient body corporate. Recipient yaru? Recipient is? So RCM or no RCM? RCM or no RCM? So here you will not have RCM. Why? Recipient Sandeep is not a body corporate. Wait, your doubt is going to be touched now. For security services, recipient should be registered. So conditions are different. Though Sandeep is registered, but he is not a body corporate for renting of motor vehicle. Now for security services, supplier should be other than body corporate, recipient should be registered person. So here recipient is a, but supplier should be other than. Look at the question. Supplier is whom? Protect services. Protect you. Now this is also not covered by RCM. Why? Because supplier is a body corporate. Why this was not covered by RCM? Because recipient was not. See, you see certain things are not satisfied. So morning I actually gave a very clear hint. And I said very clearly, I don't remember which question papers what question came. I know all the types of questions because we have a book called as Train Your Brain where all the ICA questions are clubbed. And I don't follow ICA pattern. It is our own pattern which we follow. Questions are taken from ICA, but answers are ours. And you cannot refer ICA website because answers are outdated. So our TYB will be updated. So if at all it is September 2025 TYB, it will be updated with amendments till date. Even if it is May 2018 paper, it is updated till date. Right? Now understand, I said one thing. RCM, sorry, I cannot help you, you have to buy heart. Correct? So someone asked me, sir, RCM. I said, sorry, buy heart. Sorry? This is the reason. This is the reason. So is he going to pay any RCM? No. For motor vehicle, renting of motor vehicle, what condition is not satisfied? Supplier is other than body corporate. For a recipient should be body corporate. The condition is recipient should not be registered. The condition is recipient should be not satisfied. For security services, recipient should be registered. Body corporate, not body corporate is not allowed. So here recipient condition is satisfied. But supplier should be other than. But here supplier is none. No RCM. No RCM. Third, what is the tax payable in cash including RCM? What is the tax payable in cash? What is this outward supply? Now use your calculator. I'm merging all CGST, SGST, AG. What is this outward supply? Value 1, 5,70,000 was there? Correct. Outward supply 1 and outward supply 2. What was the answer? Multiplied by 18%. Correct? 1 lakh 2,600. Don't worry, this is not the answer, though you'll find an option. Right, now wait, we have not included outward supply 3. What is outward supply 3 value? What is outward supply 3 value? How 2 lakhs? 10,000 per person, 20 employees. 2 lakhs multiplied by. I am not breaking up CGST. They have not broken up CGST, SGST, IGST. So we need not break up CGST, SGST, IGST. Directly 18%. Answer 0. Answer. This is covered by FCM. This will be covered by renting of residential dwelling to a registered person. To a supplier may be registered or unregistered. To a. So your recipient Aryan Pharma Limited was a registered person. Who will pay? Sandeep will pay or Aryan Pharma Limited? So for Sandeep, what will be the answer? 0. RCM. Less ITC. Less ITC. ITC of inward supply 1 and inward supply 2. Both will be paying under RC. Both will be paying under FCM. Both will be paying under FCM. Be it renting of motor vehicle Ravi or be it security services Protect You Security Limited. What is the total value? 50,000 and 35. So what is the total value you will get? 85,000 multiplied by 18%. Please. 15,000? 15,300. Subtract. 80? 87? 300. Now if you look at the question carefully, any mistake you make, you will reach at the right answer. You will get one of the 4 options. You will get one of the 4 options, but I don't know why ICA said that none of the option is right. No, ICA makes a mistake in this question paper. Even in the next question paper that we are going to discuss, it made a mistake. Here it made 2 mistakes. Rather one genuine mistake where it said it is not a correct option and it gave an answer called as 91, which no, because rates are very clear, values were very clear. So here this answer given by ICI, it said no correct option, but actually what was the correct option? One more question, no correct option, that is right. That is right. And in the previous question paper, they gave an answer, but that is not a right answer. And look at this question paper. I hate ICA for this reason when they give these questions. If you see these questions, 4, 5, 6, 11, 12, out of 16 MCQs, 5 exam paper, 5 were no correct option. No? Right, this is at least one question indalu. I don't want ICA to do it. They have to do thorough R&D before they give it in question. This is not RTP, MTP. This is your 16 questions. There are 5 questions where there is no correct option. Out of which I am not referring to direct tax. I am only referring to indirect tax. One, they have said no correct option, but there is a correct option. There is another, there is no correct option, which is right. Yes, there is no correct option in the last question. Clear? For sure. The moment they have multiple answers, they will give marks. So in a way, you can tell lucky. Those 5 questions, any answer you wrote, full marks. 10 marks. Or depending, at times one question may be 1 mark also, depends. 8 to 10 marks, it's are in your pocket. But no, that's not expected. Because you are not sure. Your confidence level goes down. Don't think of the marks. Your confidence levels will go down. Clear? Clear? That is first case study question. Second case study question. Raj Enterprises, a partnership firm registered in GST, is having both taxable and exempt goods and services in Odisha. On 20th of March 2024, it entered into a contract for providing painting services to one of its clients. The total value of the contract was 2 lakhs. The due date to complete was April 24. However, due to some dispute, the painting was stopped on 31st of March and only 60% of the work was over. Right, this is the first part. Second, Raj Enterprises received another order from Mathur of Kerala on April 24, which is again for both taxable and exempt goods. He sold goods of 55,000, out of which 10,000 was exempt, 45,000 was taxable, implied. The total, the value of exempt goods was separately mentioned in the invoice, and both goods are independent of each other, which means neither composite supply nor mixed supply. IGST rate 12% was applicable. So whatever was taxable, it was having 12%. He issued a single invoice for both taxable and exempt supply. The account of the firm advised the firm that e-way bill is required based on consignment value. The only one important area in e-way bill is this area, putty area, which we are going to discuss, consignment value, which will complete today itself. So when you are going to see it, I will just quickly revise the concept of consignment value. Right. The firm has received a GST refund of 50,000, which was sanctioned erroneously and credited to cash ledger. Interest 1,100 is payable by the firm because there is some late payment of GST. The firm's output tax liability for April is 2,50,000, including output tax liability above. Whatever is output tax liability above, you need not recalculate it. You need not. So they are very cautious, including above mentioned. The opening balance in credit ledger is 2,60,000 and the opening balance in cash ledger is 70. Now select the most appropriate answers. Correct. First, what is the due date of invoice for the works contract? Due date of issuance of invoice and value of such invoice issued for the works contract. Works contract was the first case, correct? That was the first supply. The only works contract which was there given above was the first contract, the value of the whole contract. Now understand, for service normally you have 30 days time. Normally you have, understand, works contract is supply of service. Works contract is supply of discussed. Nature of supply. It's supply of service. For that normally you have, but when it is cancelled, you have to raise invoice immediately. You have to raise invoice when the works contract is cancelled. It is cancelled on, so it has to be issued immediately. So you rule out the wrong answers. Right? And it has to be issued for the proportionate value. What was the total value? 2 lakhs. And how much is over? So how much is over means 60%. So it is not for the entire value, 60% of 2 lakhs. So at times you have to go with strategies. Whatever is incorrect, remove it. Remove it. You might reach at a right answer. Right, that is the first part. What is the consignment value? From the second para, they are asking, what is the consignment value? Supplier is in Odisha and second is not service, second is goods. Customer is in Kerala. So place of supply will be Kerala. Place of supply will be, and they have indirectly given a hint because they have given IGST. They have given, now consignment value is equal to what? Consignment value is a special value. Consignment value will be other than normal value, transaction value, but other than exempt goods, but including GST. So what is the total taxable value? You remove exempt value. You remove exempt goods. You remove. So out of total transaction value 55,000, remove exempt goods. Plus GST. What is the GST on 45,000? GST will not be on 55,000. GST will be on, and 12%. They have given the rate. They have given the rate. 12%. 12%. 45. In short, 45,000 plus GST on 45,000. In short, 45,000 plus GST on, what is the answer? Clear? What is the remaining balance in your credit ledger and cash ledger? What is the balance initially? Balance was 2,60,000 and 70. 2,60,000 and 70,000. Now understand, out of 2,60,000, so it has to pay output tax. Output tax is how much? Output tax is how much? 2,50,000, and you will reduce ITC. ITC can be used only for output tax. It cannot be used for interest, late fees, penalty, etc., etc. It can be used only for tax, output tax. So how much ITC you can use? You have a full ITC, so you have 2,60,000. So you will use 2,50,000 ITC. Your output tax will become. So you have to pay anything by cash? Do you have to pay anything by cash? No payment by cash. But what is the balance? What is the balance? ITC. So actually, without even working out, I can remove all these three. That is the beauty of removing unwanted answers. But wait, still we'll cross verify to have a surety. Right? What is the cash amount? 70,000. What is the other payment that you have to make? How much is the other payment? You have to make the payment of interest, which you can make the payment by way of cash. Interest amount is to 1,100. You have to also pay the wrong refund. You have to got wrong refund, which you have to repay. So erroneous refund that you received, you have to repay. How much? These two things you can pay only by cash. Only and only by cash. So what is the total amount? No. What is the total amount that you have to pay? 51,100. And how much you have? So when you are making net payment, you will fully use by cash ledger. You can use only cash ledger. You cannot use credit ledger here. Right? So you have 70,000, but you have to pay 51,100. What is the balance? 18,000. Cross check. Always go by removal also. Right? So 2 case studies done. So one of the student in the morning asked, sir, what about case studies MCQs? This is how you have to crack. Multiple things will be given together. Crack it one by one. Next, independent questions. Arun, a registered person. Arun is a registered person, del credit agent. Whether he is a del credit agent or not relevant. He is an agent. He is an of both Uday Limited and AST Limited. Right. This is all based on your deemed supply. Agent. Sale of goods of Uday Limited in capacity of del credit agent was 4,50,000. Who raised the invoice? No. Invoice was raised by? So whether he is a normal agent or a special agent? Normal agent or special agent? So normal agent means this value will not come to him. This value will be reported in Uday Limited. Correct? Morning itself we discussed this normal agent versus special agent. Next. Sale of goods of ASC Limited in capacity of del credit agent 2,20,000. Invoice are issued by Arun in his normal agent or special agent? Normal agent or special agent? Normal agent means it will be there reported in principal's turnover. Special agent means it will be included in his turnover. To both the principals, obviously when he is a del credit agent, he will guarantee for the realization of payment. So this is a special aspect. He will guarantee for the realization, and at times if required, if customer is not making the payment, he will make the payment on behalf of the customer, and it will be treated as loan to customer. It will be treated as correct. And he charge interest. He is be charging interest from the customer because he has taken the responsibility to pay the principal, and if customer is not making the payment, he will make the payment and collect from the customer with interest. With interest earned from customers of Uday Limited. Think and ask. This also we discussed. Chennai Mobiles. Now, is this interest on loan or interest on delayed payment of consideration? No. This is interest on. See, supply to the clients of Uday Limited was made by Uday Limited to customers. He is acting like a third person. He is acting like a. So this is interest on loan. Uday Limited to customers. This is Uday Limited. Here Uday Limited was the supplier here, Arun is the supplier. So supply was made by Uday Limited to customers. Now interest is received additionally because he made the payment and it was treated as loan to customers. Now this is by whom? For this transaction with customers, Arun never had any transaction. He is a third person. So it is interest on. He is working like non-banking financial company. He is working like a finance company. A finance company. Now interest earned from customers of for customers of AST Limited, who's the supplier? Who's the supplier? Arun is the supplier. And Arun is getting interest also from the same customers. So Arun to customers, supply is there. Arun to customers, interest is also there. Now what it is? Interest on delayed payment or interest on loans? Interest on delayed payments or interest on loans? Got that? Got that? We discussed this in morning valuation chapter. Right? In the previous case, supply was by Uday Limited to customers. Arun was a third person, interest on loan. In this case, supply is by Arun to customers of AST Limited. Arun is a supplier for goods and Arun is getting interest. So it is interest on delayed payment of consideration. Simple. What is the value of supply of goods to the customer on which tax will be paid by Arun? And what is the value of exempt supply? Arun, it is only from the point of view of Arun. Don't bring Uday and all. Arun will pay tax on what? Now, Arun will pay tax on what? He'll pay tax for supply on behalf of AST Limited. Supply on behalf of AST Limited, where the amount was 2,20,000 plus interest on delayed payment of consideration, which is 22,000. Now here itself you can actually take the answer. This is all tricks. Now we'll not come to a conclusion. We'll verify exempt supply. This interest on loan is exempt supply. This will be also interest income of Arun, but now this will be an exempt income of Arun. So what is the exempt income of Arun? Cross verify. Cross verify. Done. And the last question now. Aggregate. This all, everything in this MCQs has come only from ABC analysis, which means we are sticking to A and B part. Whatever was A and B part, there is not, as of now, nothing which has come from C part. As of now. There will be one or two questions for sure, which will find later on come. Now, aggregate turnover of Tectra India Private Limited is 800 crores. What is true in following statement with respect to QR code? QR code for e-payment. QR code for where the turnover criteria is 500 crores. Where the turnover criteria is, it's not e-invoice. It is QR code for e-payment. Now QR code for e-payment is required only and only for B2C supplies other than export. We'll have a short discussion tomorrow for about 15 minutes and we'll complete this. We'll be revising this. Done. Only this area, and I'll mark 5-star only for the small area. E-invoice QR code versus e-payment QR code. So e-payment QR code for payment is only for B2C supplies other than export. None of the answer tells it. So first answer tells that it is for B2B, B2C ruled out. Second, B2B export ruled out. Third, B2B, B2C ruled out. Fourth, everywhere there is B2B. Everywhere there is. So none of the options are right. The right answer also I am giving. One of the options should have been, it is only applicable for B2C supplies other than, for exports you have ER QR code. You don't have this. Other than exports. So none of the option is right. So first way is to take and crack your MCQs. Crack your MCQs. I'm sorry, I should not have gone with case studies. First I should have taken 2. Last two questions separate. Then I should have taken case studies. So even in MCQs, first take 2 or 3 independent questions. Then go to case studies. Then go to case studies. It doesn't make much difference, but it makes a big difference when you're working out your main question paper. When you're working out your main question paper, it makes a big difference. Now main question, what I will do is, I will not see the question in sequence, and obviously understand that questions here, they are very clear. So you have to read it very carefully. You have questions from 5 to 8. 5 is compulsory. From 6, 7, 8 you have to write only 2. So you will find that in ABC analysis that we have done, you will attend 50 on 50 questions. 50 marks out of 50 marks. Why? 99% chances are there when you go with ABC analysis. You attend 50 on 50 marks question. That 1% I have removed, right? Why? Not for these questions, for MCQs questions. In your MCQs, you might get questions from unimportant areas. Unimportant areas. So you don't be worried. Always you'll be having. So don't try to write all. So from 6, 7, 8 you have to write only 2, but we'll see all. We will see all. So first we'll go in reverse order. First we'll go in reverse order. 8th question. As per section 7, as per section 7, basic question only. 8th question, first part, as per section 7. I'll do a simple thing. Give me another half an hour. Basic questions are there. Those who are coming from far away, you may leave, but see those question papers on YouTube once that is uploaded. Now your question number 8 talks about, first question 8A talks about a very simple thing, that supply is said to include all forms of supply. But can there be a supply without consideration? Yes or no? Can there be a supply without consideration? Yes or no? Yes, there can be a supply. There can be a supply without consideration. What you have to explain? What you are required to explain? In this question 8A, what is the expectation of ICI? You are required to explain Schedule 1, 4 paras. Schedule 1, 4 paras. You have to explain that yes, there are 4 cases where there can be supply without consideration. Supply without consideration. Next, 8b. I'm just going to touch which area? Direct questions. Explain the provisions related to validity of registration for CTB and RTP. CTB and RTP is not permanent registration, maximum 90 days. Again, it comes in A part, very important. Maximum 90 days. 90 days on the last date mentioned on registration certificate, whichever is earlier. Whichever is, so that is given here. So here a hint, 90 days. Maximum, it's not 90 days. Maximum 90 days or last date mentioned on the registration certificate, whichever is earlier. Or second part is also very simple. So today morning we discussed about advantages of GST. Same time I said don't worry. If the question comes about disadvantages of earlier taxation, you have to just reverse it. So hint here is what? Remember the advantages of GST. Do the reverse. So you're talking about deficiencies in old taxes which led to the birth of GST. Done. Next, 8b. Rather 8b has 2 parts. See, first of all, this is an option. 6, 7, 8, any 2 questions. 8b, either you can write 1 or 2. Or you can write B la second part. 31 tells that tax invoice shall be issued at the time of delivery or removal of goods. Can there be cases where tax invoice is issued after delivery of goods? Yes. When you are not sure of supply. Sale on approval basis. So you are going to explain delivery challan. Explain the provisions related to tax invoice and delivery challan where the goods are given in semi-knockdown or knockdown format. So as a hint, we discussed this in your ITC chapter when the goods are given in lots or installment. For the first set of lots, tax invoice will be raised before first removal. But when the goods are going, they are going in parts. So for every point, because supposing the goods were worth 100 crores, but every lorry will contain only 10 crores. So for the 10 crores, you cannot have invoice as the main document. You will be generating delivery challan. For first lorry, there will be a delivery challan and the corresponding e-way bill. So every consignment, for every lorry, there will be a DC along with e-way bill. DC along with e-way bill corresponding only to 10 crores. Entire value is 100 crores. Invoice you already generated. But that 100 crores cannot go along with the truck. Why? Because that one truck contains only 10 crores. So you will generate DC. Though there is a supply, you will generate DC along with e-way bill for 10 crores plus GST and give a copy of invoice. You will tell that, see, this is supply. Though it is supply, I am giving delivery challan because supply is for 100 crores, but this truck is containing only 10 crores. So you will do this for every lorry. First lorry, second lorry, third lorry, fourth lorry, even for the last lorry. The only change in last lorry will be delivery challan and e-way bill will be for 10 crores, whatever is contained in that truck. But in the last lorry, you will not give a copy of invoice, you will give the original invoice. That is given. So this is not covered in A and B part. But don't worry, even if you are attending 8th question, what will be there? You can attend 8B, 1 and 2. You need not attend this or. So this is all about your 8th question. Everything about your 8th question. 7th question. Ranjan availed ITC of 1 lakh in GST 3B of June month. The output tax liability of June month was 0. Intrastate outward supply for July was 5 lakhs excluding GST. You utilized the available ITC against outward tax liability for the month of July while filing 3B. Ranjan found on 22nd September that he availed ITC of 1 lakh. He wrongly availed ITC of 1 lakh in the month of June. He reversed unutilized amount of wrongly availed ITC standing in credit ledger as on 30th September and paid the utilized amount of ITC by cash. The GST rate is 18%. So it is all about wrongly availed ITC. Wrongly availed ITC. So for wrong availment of ITC, interest will be there only when ITC is utilized. When ITC is utilized, not when ITC is wrongly availed. And they are giving extra information. 3B for June is filed in 19 July. 3B for July is filed on 25th August. 25th? Now, let us try to understand what is happening in month of June. June month, what was the output tax? What was the output tax? 0. What is the ITC? What is the ITC? 1 lakh. This ITC will be entirely carry forward, correct? ITC carried forward will be 1 lakh, correct? What will happen in the month of July? In July, what was his sales? What was his sales? 5 lakhs. This 5 lakhs is not tax, it is sales. What will be output tax on sales? 5 lakhs multiplied by 18%. 18? What is that figure? 90,000. Less opening ITC will be used. Opening ITC is 1 lakh. So you will use how much opening ITC you have? You have opening ITC of? You will use it. You will use it. So net output tax will become 0. Now your ITC from 1 lakh will become 10,000. Clear? Clear? This is what it's the clear picture. This gives you a real clear picture. Now he reversed this on 30th September. He paid it. Now please understand, you have taken this entire 1 lakh ITC wrong. But out of this 1 lakh ITC, 90,000 was used, 10,000 was never used. 10,000 was never on this 10,000 which is unutilized, and this 90,000 is utilized. On this 10,000 there won't be any interest. You realized it, you reversed it. It was there in the credit ledger. You never used it. Interest is only on 90,000. So interest will be calculated only on 90,000. Interest rate is 18% per annum. And interest will be calculated from where? From where? Now you have to find number of days. From where till where? Correct? It will always be from. It will always be from the date of filing of that month's return in which you have utilized it, or the due date of filing of return in which you have utilized it. In which month you have utilized it? June month or July month? In which month you have utilized it? June. What is July month's due date? July month's due date. July month's due date is 20th August. Or what is the actual date of filing? 25th August, whichever is earlier. So you will start your interest from 20th August. And what is the due date? When you actually corrected your mistake? Okay, so due date for the July month is extended to, we did not read that fact. It is given in the question that the due date of 20th, due date is normally 20th, but for the month of July. Again, rather this gives a hint how reading entirely is important. So I generally presume that everything is over. But if I missed it, my understanding was fully right. But still marks would be lost because the question gives a hint that due date of July is extended. So what is the extended due date? What is the extended due date? 22nd August. So due date of July month extended is 22nd August or 20th August. Which is earlier? 22nd August. And what is the date when I corrected my mistake? 30th, it is all in the same financial year. So I'm not writing 2024. It's all in the same financial year. So what is the delay? What is the delay? You will not include 22nd. You will start from 23rd. So in August there are 9 days, and in September, that is, you will include the last date, 30 days. So what is the delay? 30. Calculate the interest now. Interest is 5 star. 5 star. Surely it would be there in almost all the papers. If not, out of 4 or 5 question papers, it will be there in almost all except one. Except one. So please calculate it. What is the answer? 1000. When you calculate your interest, they'll explain everything and finally they'll give this answer. Clear? Clear? Right. So this would be calculation of interest. Now, question 7a is over. 7b, there was 7b as well. 7b is a very simple question. 7b is for 5 marks. It tells that in e-way chapter, what is the provision related to detailed inspection and verification? Again, this is C part. This is actually not important area. This is, so you could have escaped unimportant area in question 8. But this unimportant area, you cannot escape. But still, if you have attended question 8, you need not worry. You need not worry. So this tells that detailed inspection, you have to give a summary report within 24 hours. Right? Summary report within 24 hours. E-way bill 03 part A. Then detailed report, final report in 3 days plus 3 days extension by commissioner. 3 days plus 3 days extension by commissioner. So that is part B of EWB 03. So that is explained in 138C. So that you might have missed. Don't worry. Still, if you have ignored this question and if you went with 8th question, there also there was an unimportant question, but that you could have avoided. That you could have easily avoided. So till now, you have not lost any marks with respect to your ABC analysis. Now talking about your 6th question. Very, very simple part. Directly tuck, 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 you tell me the answer. Availment of ITC. 5 star. 5 star. So please comment on your ITC. 6A. First. When you're talking about CSR, what you'll do? Forget about everything. 0. 0. Right. Next, goods purchase in lot. 5,90,000 including GST. So what is the GST amount? The question would be giving your rate. The question would be giving the rate of tax. Is it not giving the rate of tax? Is it not giving the rate of tax? If it is not giving the rate of tax, it is a bad question. Normally, question will give rate of tax and rate of tax. Okay, not required. Why it's not required? Well, let us understand. 5 lakh including GST in 5 lots. 3 lots of raw materials worth 3 lakhs excluding GST received in the current month, and remaining lots will be received in which month? Question it is. When you can take the credit? September month. So though the question is not giving an essential fact, but it is not relevant. Here it is 0 because it is blocked. Here it is 0 not because it is blocked, because the entire credit you will take in September month. Do you know the amount of credit? No, because you don't have the rate of tax, but you need not worry. You need not worry. That will come in September. That will come in September. Company paid for outdoor catering services for the lunch of factory employees during lunch hours as per the policy of the company. There is no. See, understand. First and third are blocked. This is not block credit, this is postponed. This is postponed. Purchased Goods from home traders. All goods invoice was received in August, but one invoice has not been furnished by the supplier in IFF. The GST paid on that invoice is 50,000. So how much credit you will take? You will take only 1,50,000. Balance amount 50,000. You're not blocked. It is postponed. It is, you'll get it later. You'll get it later. Purchase raw materials to manufacture finished goods. Since finished goods are to be sold to potential customers under buy one get one free. Buy one, will you get entire credit for buy one get one free? Is it free? No. Buy one get one free is not free. Buy one get one free is a combo offer. So technically this is not blocked. Buy one get one free is not. So it is not free samples. Free samples is fully free. Buy one get one free is a marketing scheme. 2,000 rupees less discount 1,000. Less discount. So it is a marketing scheme. So it is not free. This is not free. So it is not blocked. Will you get the credit? So you have to explain it is not blocked. You will get the credit? Yes. What is the total amount of ITC available? 1,50,000 plus 1,50,000. So we have finally got 3 lakhs and I have explained. Few of them are blocked. You will never ever get. And 2 of them are postponed. 2 of them are you'll get but later. You'll get but later. Clear? Clear? Now next is from your exemption chapter, and exemption chapter you have to remember only the important services, and all these questions are come from important services. Education, healthcare. Education and healthcare. So first is do printing a registered entity under GST received an order of 1,50,000 from Vishwakarma Technical Institute, a private ITA providing notified services under Apprenticeship Act. It is category C education institution. Category C educational institution for printing of pre-examination items like question paper, OMR sheet, answer booklets required for conducting examination. Required for whether it is category A preschool or schools, category B colleges, universities, professional courses like ICA, or category C, right? Whenever you're talking about any of these education institutions, whether they provide anything related to conduct of examination, they are providing, or whether they receive. Here they are not providing, they are receiving. Whether they provide or they receive. Whether they provide or they receive anything for conduct of examination. Anything for conduct of examination is exempt. So here you will find that this is exempted. This is the first category is exempted. I repeat, is it providing or is it receiving? This educational institution is not providing, it is receiving services. Receiving services, but for conduct of. So whether it provides to students, collecting amount from students, or whether it pays to third party vendor for conduct of examination, getting it and supplying it, both are exempt. Both are exempt. Second, State Board of Education, a registered entity, charged 50,000 for what? Affiliation charges from a school run by Dharmapal Trust, a registered entity in 12AA of income tax, which is giving education from class 1 to 10 is all irrelevant. Now understand that affiliation services given by central or state education board is exempt, but with a condition. Only if it is given to government school. Only if it is given to, this is not given to government school. Though it is a trust registered under 12AA, it would be taxable. Why? It's not a government school. It's not a government school. So here, recipient should have been government school. But here, recipient is not government school, it is a trust. So it is taxable. Next, healthcare services. Well, VCare Hospital, a registered entity, charged 19,500 for 3 days. Sahil was admitted in intensive cardiac care unit due to a heart attack. See, normally when you talk about hospital, if the room rent charges is up to 5,000 per day, then it is exempt. If it is more than that, it is taxable. But wait, they give exception. If at all you talk about ICU, CCU or ICCU, here it is ICCU. It is exempt. It is, here you don't focus on 5,000 per room per day. Here you don't focus on 5,000 per room per day. So it is exempt. Though it is more than 5,000 per room per day, but this is a case of ICCU. ICCU, therefore it is exempt. Sitcare Hospital, a registered entity, entered into agreement with Swadesh Caterers, another registered entity, to supply food to its inpatients. Based on the advice of doctor or nutritionist. Swadesh Caterers monthly bills it to hospital for the food supplied to them, to the admitted patients. Determine, look at the question. First they talk about everything, Swadesh Caterers, etc. Finally, when they ask a question, determine the taxability of. So they are not talking about taxability of. Swadesh Caterers to hospital is taxable. Hospital to inpatients. Hospital to? It is a part of composite supply. It is a part of exempt. So here you need to explain. It is a part of composite supply. It is exempt. It is, believe me, all are A and B category. So I am not going to ask you to read entire exemption. I will be giving 7 to 8 services which are very, very important, and both education as well as healthcare. After government and 12AA, the third and fourth is education and healthcare. It is coming in A part. It is coming in A and B part. Very, very important. And finally, attending the major question, bigger question. Though it looks bigger, it is small only. It is a bigger question. Right? Last question, mandatory question. As I said, always go in reverse. Out of 6, 7, 8, you are not required to write all 3. You are required to write only 2. So can you avoid C part? Yes, you could have easily avoided your unimportant areas if you have planned properly. Now, the main question, MLM Private Limited, a registered person in Udaipur. So it is a private limited registered in Udaipur. It is engaged in various lines of business. Outward supply. Advance received from Gokul for business support services supplied in the month of April. Now understand, this question is entirely from the point of view of March. This question is entirely from the point of view of March. But the service is to be supplied in April. Now you are receiving advance 2 lakhs in March. You are receiving advance 2 lakhs in, service is going to happen in April. But now in March you are receiving advance. Whether advance for service is taxable? Yes. For goods sector, no. But for service sector, yes, it is based on your time of supply. It is based on your, so in the month of March, your outward supply, 2 lakhs will have tax. Here the rate of tax will be given in the question. So you have to calculate that. Correct? First part over. Second part. Provided commission services to a pure labor contract to Raj Builders, Jaipur, Rajasthan, for a multi-story residential complex. For a multi-story residential complex. Immovable property. Location supplier, Rajasthan. Place of supply is also Rajasthan. When nothing is given, it is CJCS. For the first point, nothing is given. CJCS. Second point, something is given. But location of supplier is Rajasthan. Place of supply is also. Location of supplier is Rajasthan. Place of supply is also. Whether the supplier recipient is registered or unregistered, it is Rajasthan. Immovable property. So what is the amount? 5 lakhs. Will it be exempt? No. This you could not avoid. It is not actually coming in A and B part. But when you talk about construction of a residential unit is exempt. A single residential house is exempt. But this is residential complex. This is residential. So is it exempt? No. So here you would have made a mistake if you have, because if you have gone through ABC part, you would not have touched this particular service while revising. So here it is taxable. Why? It is a residential complex. CGST, SGST. Right? Because it is intrastate supply. LOS, Rajasthan, POS, also Rajasthan. Stock transfer without consideration to branch in Rajasthan, same. So, no exempt, it is not supply. It is not at all supply. So, third part, it is not at all supply. Nothing. Correct? Same GST. It is not a distinct person. It is not a distinct person. Next part. Outward sale of goods to various unrelated persons. So, various unrelated persons. Transaction value 575, but market value GST, you will go with transaction value or market value. So what is the answer now? 575, simple. So here it is 575 and unrelated person means always generally it is CGST and SGST. Simple. Sir, why have you suddenly taken 6? Because the question would have given some information about the rate of tax. Rate of tax for goods is 12. For service it is 18. For service it is, so initial cases it was service we took 18. This is goods we took 6. So you would have spent your time in reading the question in that 15 minutes. So that will be very helpful. Now, due to paucity of time, directly we are going through the answers and question together. But normally what you would have done, read the entire question then worked out. This is, we have done for all the other questions. For this question, I have read the question, I have spent that 15 minutes. So when I have read the question, I know that what would be the important areas. Right. Now, provided warehousing services for kidney beans, that is rajma, red lentils and other pulses. So understand that it is again another important services, agricultural services. Again, it comes in A and B part. It comes in A and B part. And when you see agricultural services, any storing and warehousing services given to agricultural produce, is exempt. Pulses is an agricultural produce, it is exempt. Clear? This is all about your outward supply. Inward supply. Received car rental services from Carman Private Limited, unregistered company in Udaipur, in car renting services. MLM Private Limited is paying rent on monthly basis. Cost of the fuel is also included. Rate is, see, normally service they give 9. But when something specific is given, go with that rate. Even the rate point will be telling this. Rates of GST are below except where otherwise stated. So there, normally for service we took 9, but here they have clearly given 12. Now first thing, whether the supplier will charge under FCM. No. Why? He is not registered. Whether RCM will be applicable. No. Why? Supplier is body corporate. Here supplier is not registered, so he will not charge GST. And RCM will also not come because supplier is a body corporate. Supplier himself is a, so no FCM, no RCM, no GST. Right. So supplier, if at all it was FCM, it would have come in your ITC table. Whether this will come in your ITC table? In your ITC table, you will write no. Why you will write no? Supplier has not charged GST. I cannot take the credit. Again, ITC includes RCM ITC? No. Why? RCM is also not applicable. RCM is also not. No RCM. And FCM, it is there, but supplier would not have charged tax. So ITC is 0. Got that? Next. Intrastate inward supply of various goods and services used in furtherance or course of business. 7,50,000 goods, 2,50,000 services. 7,50,000 goods, 2,50,000 services. Will you get the credit? Yes, everything else is satisfied, so you'll get the credit. So 7,50,000 for goods will take 6%. And for services, you'll take 2,50,000, 9%. Clear? Clear? Wait, the question is not yet over. This fills the main table. The company also paid 50,000 to Ajay, an independent director. So it is inward supply or outward supply? Company is making payment, inward supply or outward supply? Inward supply. Is it subject to RCM? Yes. It will come in 2 tables. In our presentation, there are totally 4 tables. Output tax, we have completed. RCM, now will fill. ITC will fill. So it will come in table 2, RCM, table 3, ITC, also final payment in cash. So we'll work out in 4 tables. We'll not work out like ICA. We'll work out in 4 tables. So will it come in RCM table? Will it come in RCM table? Yes, it will come in RCM table. Will it also come in ITC table? Yes, it will also come in ITC table. It will also come in the 4th table. Net payment by cash. Net payment by ICA has not given it, but we'll be working out the 4th table. We'll be working out the 4th table. So there also it will come. Right? So this would be there. This would be there. Next. The company made donation to old age homes not registered under GST for setting a water cooler at old age home with the name of the company embedded on the water cooler to express their support for the good cause. Now donation, is it outward supply or inward supply? See, company is making donation means what, ma? Company is making donation is company is making the payment. Payment means it is inward supply, ma. Payer is always recipient. Payer is always. If at all it is outward supply, it would have been outward supply for old age home. It would be outward supply for. Please understand. Payment means you are recipient. Payment means you're not supplier, you are recipient. You are recipient. So will it come in first table? Output tax? No. RCM? No. ITC? It may. If the supplier old age home has charged GST, it will come. Now, whether donations are subject to GST? No. Donations unless otherwise. There is a quid pro quo. It is not supply. It is not. So, old age home, though it is not a registered trust under 12AA, let it be. Whether it is registered under 12AA or not registered under 12AA, not relevant. Is it supply? No. You make donation. And as a thanksgiving, the old age home has written the name. It is not an obligation. It is not an old age home could have said that no, will not write name. Fine. There's no quid pro quo. There's no. So it will not come in output tax table. It will not come in RCM table. If at all it comes in ITC table. So you have to write in ITC table and you have to write tax 0. Why? It is not supply for the supplier. For the old age home, it is not the supply. So it will not charge GST. It will not charge. And it is not charging GST, you will not pay, you will not get any credit. You will not get any credit. Clear? Now all the general information, all the figures are exclusive of tax. All the inward and outward supplies are. This question is very simple. They by default tell that they are intrastate except when it is mentioned otherwise. Subject to all information, all the conditions for ITC have been availed. Calculate the net GST payable. Done. We have worked out table 1 output tax. Table 2 RCM. Though ICA is given together, we will work out table 2 RCM separately. Table 3 ITC including RCM. Table 4 ICA is clubbed in table 1. We will not do that thing. Once you find out all the answers, what you will do? Table 4. RCM again you will write it. Paid in cash. Then you will write gross output tax from table 1. Less ITC, including RCM ITC from table 3. So net output tax paid in cash. So you will add RCM payment in cash and net output tax payment in cash. Total payment in cash. Total payment in. We will follow our tables. I don't want you to see the mess ICA is created by giving everything clubbed together where you fail to understand what is being said. We will always go with this area, the only unimportant part which was there in the question, only unimportant part which was there in the question was construction of residential complex. Everything was from ABC analysis. This entire, even if you have missed that area, step marks would have been deducted. If you went wrong, only step mark would have been. So everything came from ABC part, AB part, nothing from unimportant, either 5-star part or 3-star. This exam, this paper was only from A or B. A or B. Yes, there were certain questions which were expected but did not come. Valuation, expected, was not part of it because they had already asked valuation question in other places. Correct? Your registration and composition scheme, expected but not asked. Don't worry. Even if it is not asked, it is only from 5-star and 3-star. 5-star and 3-star. So this completes your entire question paper. I have missed out one question. B part, rather valuation is asked. Valuation is asked. So B part, a very small question. Valuation, direct answers you have to give. So you're not going to spend time in analyzing. Directly you look at the question and you tell me the answers. Where is the question, by the way? Okay, this is the question area. A registered person gives the following details about the transaction. Ajay is giving the following information. For the month of July, he sold 3,000 units of Wellness Pharma at 400 rupees each. TCS is part of it and TCS was 2,000. What will be the value? Whether TCS will be part of it or not? Valuation. All other indirect taxes will be added, but not direct tax. So what is the value? What is the value? 3,000 multiplied by 400, it is 12 lakhs. Will you add income tax TCS? No. You will not add income tax TCS. Taken from your valuation part. Under a contract with state government, he sold 1,000 units of goods, unit price 400 per unit at 2,000 per unit to families of economically weaker section identified by the state government. Balance 200 per unit will be paid by state government as subsidy. Subsidy by state government. Included, not included? But what about the basic price? So you will include it or not? Right. So how much unit is paid by families? 1,000 into? So what is the answer? Will you add another 2 lakhs paid by state government as subsidy? No. Subsidy by state government will not be added. Issued credit note worth 1,50,000. Worth 1,50,000 net of GST as a discount to registered dealers who purchase more than 5,000 units between October 23 and December 23. So credit note is given later. We are into the month of July and these supplies are made in October to December as a festival bonanza scheme declared on October itself. Declared on the above discount was provided invoice wise with the condition of. Are you seeing all the points of discount after supply being satisfied? Yes, this is discount after supply. Supply is from October 23 to December 23. Credit note is given in August 24. July 24 or August 24? July 24. So discount after supply. Condition number 1. Whether agreement was given at the time of supply? Yes. Whether this credit note is given linked to invoices? Yes, it is giving that it is linked to invoices. The above discount was provided invoice wise. It is linked to invoices. Whether proportionate ITC will be reversed by the recipient? Yes. So will you reverse it? Yes, you will reverse. You will reverse 1,50,000. You will reverse 1,50,000. Sold goods to old age home for consideration of 1 lakh. Normal value is 2 lakhs, but to them it is 1 lakh. Samvedna NGO registered under section 12W of income tax gave them a subsidy of 30,000 to acknowledge that they are doing good cause. Now, what is the transaction value, ma? What is the transaction value? Forget about normal sale value. You have sold him to 1 lakh. Your market value, let it be anything. What is the transaction value? 1 lakh. Whether subsidy by third person will be added. No. See, subsidy of 30,000 to acknowledge his services. To acknowledge his services. So whether subsidy is added. Whether subsidy is added. Subsidy linked to a transaction, subsidy linked to a price will be added. So when you see the answer, you will find that the question is not clear whether it is a subsidy linked to the price or not. Here they have said that it is a blank X subsidy and not directly linked to the price. The question actually gives a hint indirectly. It is telling that whatever items you sold, we are thanking you for good cause. Now, whether I have sold goods worth 1 lakh or 10 lakhs or 1 crore or 2 crores, it would be 30,000. There was one more subsidy given earlier, which was per unit. Which was that was not included because it was by state government. So here it is a general subsidy, and you have to write an assumption. If you are not clear, you can always write an assumption. You are not going to add this 30,000 for a very simple reason that it is general subsidy. General subsidy. Right. So this is finally done. After analysis of sales report of first quarter, the supplier decided to give discount of 1% to the shopkeepers who purchased more than 25 lakhs during the last quarter, June 24. Total discount is 1 lakh 30. Whether you will deduct 1 lakh 30? No. Why? This is also supply, the discount after supply, but agreement to give discount was not at the time of supply. Not at the time of. So if you add everything, what is the total value now? 12 lakhs, 2 lakhs, minus 1 lakh 50,000 plus 1 lakh. 14 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 13 lakh. 13 lakh. So when you look at the answer, so we thought valuation question was not there, but don't worry, it was very clearly there. Rather, many valuation points were easily touched upon. Clear? So this solves your entire May 25 question paper. The objective of this question paper, I said it in the morning, I'm again repeating it. I'm just giving you an entry to the experience sitting in the exam hall. Right? How to read the question, how to interpret, what was the thing. And when you see the fag end, when I was telling that, okay, let us complete it. In that part, I missed one word. So, which is also a silly mistake on your part when you're doing in the exam hall. So, in one of the question for interest, where it was given for July months, the due date is extended. I ignored that part and I worked out. So, these are all silly mistakes which you have to avoid. How to avoid? Reading it. How to avoid reading it. Though I am very clear with the concepts, I have already went through the question paper without being this answer released by the ICA. So that point itself, every time questions are released, I will go through it and tell that, okay, it is only from A part and B part. What are the areas which is coming from C part? Very limited. Very limited things will come. This question paper, you could have attended entire 50 marks if you have gone through A and B part only. C part, if you have ignored, there were areas where C part was there, but you could have skipped it. You could have easily skipped that. Clear? So this is one exam paper. Tomorrow we'll see your Jan paper. Again we'll go to the same way and try to understand how to tackle a question paper. Right. Thank you.